Hello and welcome to Tech This Week. The big story from the world of technology business in India has been Zomato's draft red herring prospectus for an IPO offering of up to 8,250 crore rupees, which will mark the first public market outing for an Indian food tech firm and the first ever for a unicorn from the country. Separately, BSE-listed investor and internet company InfoEdge said it will sell its Zomato shares worth 750 crores of rupees in the upcoming IPO. Here are the other top headlines from the week. At a time when several Indian states have run out of COVID-19 vaccines, CoWIN, which is the central government's nodal portal for vaccine registrations, crashed its servers on Wednesday when registrations for those in the age group of 18 and above opened up. Even as users continue to complain about the non-availability of appointment slots across social media, using social media, the health ministry continues to request everyone's understanding and patience, with the government's COVID-19 death tally reaching 2,08,330 as of Friday first half. Moving on, the Indian government recently asked microblogging platform Twitter to take down posts critical of the union government's handling of the COVID-19 crisis. According to a submission made by Twitter to Harvard University's Lumen database, at least 21 such posts have been banned by the platform for viewing in India. Here's what Twitter said in response to this news coverage. In the event we receive more requests to withhold content from the Government of India within the country, we will continue to engage openly and constructively based on our overarching commitment to serve the public conversation during a crisis. We notify the account holder directly so they're aware that we've received a legal order pertaining to the account by sending a message to the email address associated with the account, if available, unless we are prohibited from doing so. We also clearly indicate on Twitter when content has been withheld and publish requests to withhold content on Lumen database, a level of transparency that is unique in the industry unless, similar to our practice of notifying users, we are prohibited from doing so. Shifting gears, multinational companies, including the likes of MasterCard, Salesforce, and Walmart, have offered aid in the form of medical supplies, oxygen concentrators, and relief funds to India at a time when the country is battling the second wave of the COVID-19 pandemic. Shifting gears to the expenditure on public cloud by end users in India is expected to grow to 31.4% in 2021 to touch $4.4 billion, according to a forecast by industry research firm Gartner. Infrastructure as a Service, or IaaS, it said, will lead the growth charts at 52.2%, followed by Desktop as a Service, or DaaS, at 47.7%, thanks to the growing remote working trend. And IaaS, which is Infrastructure as a Service, will be the largest end-user spending segment at $1.44 billion in 2021, while DaaS is expected to be a $73 million opportunity. Next up, an investor consortium led by global private equity giant Blackstone will fork out anywhere between $2 billion and $2.8 billion to buy a controlling stake in Mphasis. Now, the deal will come against years long of developments vis-a-vis Mphasis ownership. Citing sources earlier this week, VC Circle reported a few investor names who are part of the consortium. To give us a quick reading on the situation, we have with us Ankit Agarwal, who's a senior associate of private equity at VC Circle. Hi, Ankit. Thank you for joining us. Ankit, can you give us a quick background on what's happened so far with Mphasis' ownership breakup, and more importantly, what are driving these developments?
Sure, Supriya. See, global private equity giant Blackstone acquired about 60% stake in Mphasis about 5 years back for close to 5,500 crore. However, like any other financial investor, they had an exit timeline in mind. That is typically 5 to 7 years for a private equity firm. Now, a couple of months back, VC Circle reported that Carlyle emerged as the sole bidder for its stake in Mphasis, but ultimately the deal didn't come through. In fact, Bain Capital, Brookfield, and UK investment firm Promira also showed interest. In my reading, due to tense market conditions arising with the rapid spread of coronavirus, Blackstone decided to rather shift its holding from an old firm fund to a couple of new funds so as to buy some more time and sell its stake on a later date with much better returns and a better market condition. Moreover, biggies like Abu Dhabi Investment Authority and Singapore Sovereign Fund GIC joining the round to acquire stake in the open offer is as it is a positive sign for the PE giant, allowing the consortium to hold up to 75% stake in the company. If we see, Blackstone has already valued its existing stake at close to 3 times its initial investment within 5 years.
Okay, so it doesn't seem like the saga is anywhere near and a lot of scope in terms of future reporting on this development. Thank you so much for sharing your time and thoughts with us. The Competition Commission of India on Wednesday said it has approved Tata Digital's proposal to acquire a majority stake in Supermarket Grocery Supplies or SGS, which is the parent company and B2B operator of e-grocery service BigBasket. It has been as usual for e-commerce players in Karnataka, even as the home to the startup capital Bengaluru entered a 14-day statewide lockdown from Tuesday evening. Like the nationwide lockdown in March 2020, all of these e-grocery players such as BigBasket, Grofers are again seeing a rise in orders. As a result, BigBasket is making deliveries with extended timelines, so is Grofers. Grofers order volumes, a company spokesperson told Tech Circle, has grown over 2 times since the lockdown was announced in Delhi and Karnataka. Chennai-based financial services company Financial Software and Systems (FSS) has partnered with NPCI International Payments to expand the presence of digital payments platform UPI or Unified Payments Interface in international markets. Under the partnership, NIPL will offer its real-time payments processing platform and technical acumen to scheme operators, while FSS will extend integration and support services according to a joint statement. Finally, Lenskart Solutions, which owns and operates omni-channel eyewear brand Lenskart, has acqui-hired Lucknow-based milk and grocery delivery company Daily Joy. Founded in 2020 by Satish Sharma, Daily Joy was launched as a micro-delivery company. Lenskart also plans up to open a technology hub in Hyderabad to improve its customer experience for online and offline customers. And the SoftBank-backed company also added that it plans to hire over 100 engineers in the next 6 months at this new center. And with that, it's a wrap on this episode of Tech This Week. Log in to www.techcircle.in for more news and updates. Goodbye, stay safe, take care of yours and yourself.